Okay, so I found JFK in the Bible, but first let's look at his car. Did you know that JFK's car, his Secret Service name for his car was SS-100X? And when you look up SS-100X, you get all this stuff. It was a U.S. Secret Service code name for the presidential limousine originally used by the 35th President of the United States, John F. Kennedy. The limousine is the car in which Kennedy, our First Lady Jacqueline Kennedy, were passengers when the president was assassinated in Dallas, Texas on November 22nd, 1963. Okay, so let's just go here. Gruesome. I don't want to get everybody grossed out, but this is what the Bible says. And so I'm just trying to show you what the internet says before I read the Bible. Okay. The full description of the spots on the light and dark blue leather are Kennedy's dried blood stains. Blue leather, Tiffany blue. Q talks about it. Piece of leather from the back seat of the Lincoln Continental in which President Kennedy was riding when he was tragically assassinated in Dallas, Texas. A haunting piece literally cut from the limousine in which the president sat when he was shot by Lee Harvey Oswald on November 22nd, 1963, clipping its dark blue leather from the border of the back seat cushion of the SS-100X, the customized open-air limousine that was lengthened, reinforced, and even had the seat raised so onlookers could have a better view of the president following the assassination. F. Vaughn Ferguson, the technical service representative at the White House, responsible for the presidential automobiles. Let's copy and paste that. I did not read that before I started. Was directed by the Secret Service to clean the limousine and get it ready in case the new president, Lyndon B. Johnson, wanted to use it to attend the funeral. When Ferguson arrived at the garage, he found parts of the limo dismantled and the bloodied leather seats ripped out, the results of an FBI search for bullet fragments. He worked throughout the weekend to get the car ready, but President Johnson didn't use it, and the auto was then shipped to custom auto body firm Hess and Eisenhard in Cincinnati, Ohio. Ferguson kept some of the ripped out leather as a memento, and lot includes a copy of a typed letter signed from Ferguson on White House letterhead, which reads in part, "The leather, light blue and dark blue, is from the automobile in which John F. Kennedy, President of the United States, was assassinated. 4 days after the assassination, the White House upholsterer and I removed this leather at the White House. The light blue leather is from the center of the rear seat. The dark blue leather is from the border of this rear seat. The spots on this leather are the dried blood of our beloved President John F. Kennedy. Ferguson's limousine leather was acquired directly from him by Raleigh D. Gear MYX, owner of the famed MYX collection of presidential memorabilia." Another one to look up. The leather was then acquired from Amex MYX. No, girl, get off my phone. By Dr. John, get off my phone. John K. Latimer. Don't bite me. The ballistics expert consulted by the Kennedy family independently, she wants to be a superstar, of the U.S. government, who confirmed the fatal shots were indeed fired by Lee Harvey Oswald. Lie, with a COA and paperwork from university archives documenting the chain of title. Leather piece measures just over 0.25 inches and nearly 0.75 inches, displayed attractively in a transparent pouch mounted to a mat with a caption and a photo of Kennedy in the limousine, all matted in dark blue velour to an overall size of 11 to 14 inches. Near fine, Paul Bedard, the Washington Examiner's Washington Secrets columnist, can be contacted at whatever. So we click out of that and we go over here. And I was watching them talk about something right about here.
It's tough to point fingers, though, to say, well, you guys should have thought of this, and you should have thought of that, and you should have done this other thing. That might not be fair to history.
Vaughn Ferguson was a liaison between the White House and Ford Motor Company.
Oh, really?
Deceased, we have a rare behind-the-scenes glimpse into how the limousine was treated following the assassination. After seeing the car, Ferguson wrote a graphically detailed memo to his bosses at Ford.
The following day, he returned to the garage. The unit was no longer under guard. The Secret Service had
Why?
leather upholstery the day before, but underneath the upholstery buttons, dried blood was still in evidence. On my own initiative, I pulled up those upholstery.
Your own initiative, huh? You wanted a bloody piece to remember. That is disgusting. You are cabal.
Cake blood around them. At this time, there was a heavy odor of dried blood still noticeable.
He said, that is the most difficult thing I've ever had to do in my life, is to clean up something like that.
He is an eyewitness to history, unlike any other that has come to the recent.
Could he be why they don't have any evidence? So let me just go and show you where I found it. I have it in my community. Just go right over here to the community page. Here you go. John F. Kennedy's death is in the Bible. 1 Kings 22:35. The battle raged that day, and the king was propped up in his chariot. So the seat was moved high so everybody could see the king in his car in front of the Armenians, which is probably his people, and died at evening, and the blood from the wound ran into the bottom of the chariot. So that's literally what happened when they shot Kennedy. And I'm going to tell you, my dad was 14 years old. He turned 14 on November 10th, 1963. He said there was never TVs in his classroom. Never, ever, ever did the teacher bring a TV in. But as soon as JFK was shot, they brought the TV in, propped it up for everyone to see the bloody mess. Why? To desensitize you so that they can do other bad things afterwards. They desensitized all the children with the blood scene from JFK's murder. Disgusting. So anyways, this is very exciting. Let me read it again. 1 Kings 22:35. You look it up for yourself. The battle raged that day, and the king was propped up in his chariot in front of the Armenians and died at evening, and the blood from the wound ran into the bottom of the chariot. Yikes. All right, y'all. This is a good piece of information. We need to find out who killed him, and we need to find out now, because if we don't find out, we can never have peace in this nation.